Okay, so here's the deal. K-pop isn't just a Korean thing anymore. It's not even just an Asian thing. We are witnessing a global mutation, and Chile might be the most fascinating case study yet. Let me explain why this isn't just about catchy songs and flashy outfits, it's about cultural reinvention. Wait, why Chile? Out of all places? Look, we've all seen BTS break records in Mexico and Brazil, but Chile's doing something different. They're not just consuming K-pop, they're hacking it. Like, imagine if your favorite genre got a software update from a completely different continent. That's what groups like QARE are achieving. And honestly, it's more interesting than the original firmware. Let's unpack this. When K-pop hit Latin America, everyone assumed it'd just be a fan phenomenon. Concert sellouts, sure. But Chilean kids took it further. They saw a template for creative revolution. Think about it, K-pop's entire model is hyper-polished, meticulously engineered. But these Chilean artists are taking that structure and injecting their own DNA. Spanish lyrics mixed with local slang? Retro video game aesthetics colliding with Santiago streetwear? That's not imitation, that's evolution. Here's where it gets personal for me. What Q_RE represents feels bigger than music. They're proof that cultural dominance doesn't have to be a one-way street. Yeah, they trained like K-pop idols, rigorous auditions, self-choreographed routines, but they're not pretending to be Korean. They're leveraging the system's strengths while maintaining their Latin identity. Isn't that what globalization should look like? Not erasure, but synthesis. But wait, why does this matter beyond Chile? Let's zoom out. The original Hallyu wave was about South Korea exporting soft power. Now we are seeing a second wave where local cultures aren't just absorbing, they're remixing. This reminds me of how reggaeton evolved from Panamanian roots to Caribbean dominance to global phenomenon. The blueprint gets borrowed, then transformed. Chile's claiming K-pop's production values but keeping their linguistic and cultural authenticity. That's the future of pop music, hybrid models nobody predicted. What's fascinating is the generational angle. These Chilean fans didn't just grow up on K-pop, they grew into it. They learned Korean through MVS, fell in love with the visual storytelling, then thought, why can't we do this in Santiago? It's like discovering a creative toolkit that speaks to your generation's aesthetics. And honestly, their version might be more authentic than the original because they're building from personal experience. But here's my biggest realization. This challenges our whole notion of authenticity in music. If a Chilean boy band uses Korean choreography but raps in Spanglish, are they less authentic? Or is authenticity now about how you reinterpret influences, not avoiding them? We are entering an era where cultural purity might become obsolete. And honestly, that terrifies traditionalists but excites me. Let's talk numbers for a sec, but only because they reveal something deeper. When Q_RE tours Brazil or gets fans in Singapore, that's not just marketing. That's evidence their hybrid approach has universal appeal. It suggests that maybe the next global pop movement won't come from Seoul or LA, but from somewhere like Santiago, where creatives have studied global trends but add their untranslatable local flavor. But what does this mean for K-pop itself? I'd argue Chile's scene proves the model is replicable, but not the formula. The training system? Valuable. The visual storytelling? Essential. But the cultural references? Those need localization. And this is why I think K-pop agencies might need to evolve from gatekeepers to inspiration sources. The empire's expanding beyond their control, and that's a good thing. What's next? Honestly, this could be the start of Latin America's creative counterwave. Imagine Chilean K-pop, Brazilian J-pop, Mexican V-pop, all distinct genres that borrow DNA from East Asia but speak in local dialects. We are not talking fusion cuisine here, this is more like open-source cultural software. And if Chile's leading this movement, we might be witnessing the birth of something as significant as Latin pop's earlier global rise. Final thought: the most interesting music stories aren't about imitation anymore. They're about mutation. Q_R isn't trying to be BTS, they're building something new from the same Legos. And in a world where algorithms homogenize taste, these local remixes might be our best hope for keeping pop culture surprising. What do you think? Could your country create its own genre cocktail? Let me know in the comments. But for now, Chile's showing us that the future of global pop isn't a single voice, it's a choir.